By now, most people know of the sentry, but let's set the mood. During a stormy night, Bob Reynolds, a depressed, alcoholic, schizophrenic man, suddenly wakes up from the same dream that has haunted him for years. It has come back. He screams into the void of the night. Meanwhile, his wife, his partner of many years, is still sleeping. She doesn't to know yet. He tells to himself as he slowly goes down the stairs, deep in his thoughts about his jumbled memories. He reaches for a book in the bookshelf as he thinks of the haunting laugh that he swore to never forget. The void, it has come back, and only him, the broken man that once was the golden guardian of good, could ever stop him. He opens the book, showing an alcohol bottle. As the vision of demonic tendrils coming out of his dog assault him, the voice of the book coming out of his pet, taunting him about the broken torn shadow that he has become. On the next act, we see Bob cowering in a fetal position, his dog in the floor with the bottle as it spills its contents, and his wife completely fed up with him and his alcoholism, chastising him for going back to his destructive vices. We continue through the issues, following Bob as he interacts with the heroes of the Marvel Universe, trying to make them remember who he is, who he was, all while trying to figure out what happened to him, and why and how he vanished from the collective memories of everyone. He talks first with Mr. Fantastic on top of a crane in the middle of a construction site in a heavily guarded zone, telling him that he was at his wedding, but he could not remember it. As they talked, the feeling that he was forgetting something assaulted Reed Richards, and then he became more and more confused, only for both to vanish into thin air. Then he talks with the Hulk, whose constitution allows him to remember even the fragments of the Golden Man. He warns him that the void is coming back and gives him a small piece of his light to keep him company while he keeps trying to remember himself. While all of this was happening, Mr. Fantastic starts asking questions, and he finds a video of himself, a video he doesn't remember ever making, that warns him of a man named Robert Reynolds. As it is about to expose who the man is, the VCR catches fire and explodes suddenly. Next, he encounters Spider-Man, calling him Peter and telling him that he won him a Pulitzer. Of course he doesn't believe him. Not only people are being wired to not believe him, but he has experience with Mysterio. Even finding out that he flies is not proof enough. Finally, before going away, he tells Peter to look through the papers and magazines and asks himself why the release numbers don't come out in sequence. During all of this, Mr. Fantastic is searching the archives and slowly finds out that Robert Reynolds is not what he seems. Too many inconsistencies in the documents. He gets confronted by Doctor Strange, telling him that his search for the truth can only lead in tragedy, giving him the cryptic warning that by him going through that route, he will only choose how the universe ends. While all of this is happening, a huge onslaught of incidents related to a dark storm starts happening. Massacres, people ending their own life, and the annihilation of entire superhero teams. We go back to see the Sentry visit the X-Men mansion and connect with Charles Xavier. During their conversation, the professor is able to reconnect with the Sentry's mind. He knows that he is an old friend, an entity that's an ally, but at the same time he cannot remember. He knows he's not supposed to remember. A part of his mind is preventing him from remembering the Sentry. He leaves, but not without leaving a warning. The void is coming back. We catch a glimpse of Peter watching the magazine numbers and learning that the missing numbers were not supposed to exist. Sentry then goes to confront Tony Stark. The Sentry remembered. He remembered that he was supposed to be erased, though he still doesn't know why or who was the person that came up with the idea. He does remember that Tony defended him, and how he felt the weight of the world as the Avengers decided to make the Sentry, the golden guardian of good, a friend, a family member, a role model, disappear from the world. And before leaving once more, he gives the same warning again. The void is coming, and he, Tony, needs to make them understand. plead to them to help against the coming darkness. He goes back to his fortress, the watchtower. Now able to see it, he finds the device that was blocking the perception, the very idea of the sentry from the universe. Finding out that it was powered by his own source of power, and that he had given orders to his own companion computer that it could not be deactivated. Finally, finding out would put the device in place, his best friend Reed Richards. He deactivates the device, and the memories come flooding back into the world. Their golden guardian of good is back, but also the biggest menace. The void has come back, and stronger and more ruthless than ever. Then he starts to remember the last part after his funeral, the slander as his character was destroyed in front of the public even before his supposed remains were laid to rest. Meanwhile, the man who used to be his companion and psychic woke up and also started to remember who he was and what they were supposed to be. The old pajamas were his uniform and he knew what he needed to do. Robert came back to his wife Linda, who started to remember they shared past, what they used to be, that he had agoraphobia. She was still confused, even talking about other heroes visiting. Then the void appears in front of them, taunting Robert as he holds her hostage, only to let her go live another day because it's still not the time for the void. As the heroes start to reunite to fight the apocalyptic disaster, they reminiscing what the sentry was for them, a guide and support, an inspiration. Then, while the battle starts to rage, and as the city starts to collapse under the power of the void, the sentry and the other heroes fight with everything they can, but it's a losing battle, as the void starts to overpower the sentry, and the rest of the heroes are barely a factor in the wake of a disaster. Doctor Strange takes Reed to an expanded time and tells him the truth. Robert Reynolds isn't the sentry, but also it's the void, and for as long as the sentry, the light existed, the void and darkness will always come back. The last piece of the memory comes back to them. The one that took the decision to raise the sentry was none other than Robert himself. From then on, the path of victory was clear. Robert will need to once again sacrifice ultimate power in order to defeat ultimate evil, and as he does, he says goodbye once again to the life of a hero, to being a golden god, and to his old companions. We finish the story with Robert once again unaware of who he used to be, taking the first steps of recovery from his agoraphobia besides his wife Linda going out to eat. This is the Sentry, and while he has appeared in many other comics and some other media, few of them he managed to impact as much as his hero's appearance. And while everyone can get wow at the character's simple yet iconic design and his vast array of powers, I want to talk about what I believe is one of the key aspects that has made him such an enduring character. Despite the ever-growing cast of heroes and villains at Marvel, Sentry gives one question. What happens if someone with a fractured psyche gets the power of a god? And the answer is terrifying. I believe the Sentry, the Void, and Robert himself represent the complex structure of the mind of an individual, simplified and incarnated. The Sentry represents the superego, what a person aspires to be, and the expectations that one sets upon himself inherited from society, giving shape, form, and a personality of his own, as a persona that the least and perfect Robert Reynolds called done in order to interact with the world and pretend that he is a hero despite his past, of which we catch glimpses in his flashbacks. Then we have Robert himself, the person behind the mask. No superintelligence, no bravery, just a broken man trying to improve and failing every step of the way, unable to live up to the expectations he himself decided to put in himself, assaulted by the idea that he can be a hero 24/7 in order not to deal with the reality, not wanting to stop being a god because without that he is just human and more important, vulnerable, and a failure. Then we hate the void, the manifestation of Robert's destructive impulses, self-hatred, hatred for the world, and every part of himself that he has rejected to continue as the sentry, manifested and empowered by his subconscious mind, and what his mind perceives a billion representing everything evil and dark will be. That is the structure of the sentry, the structure of the mind of a person that can never be brave enough to be himself because himself is not enough, manifest because of a cosmic joke. And in a certain way, it is beautiful how his hero persona improved and enriched the life of everyone around himself, only for the void to come and destroy it all because no matter how good you try to be, if it doesn't come with confronting your own darkness, it will render it all void. Carl Jones once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And the void is the manifestation of that. Robert first has to give up his biggest addiction, which is the power of a god and the person of the perfect hero to start healing, to get rid of the terrible shadow that was destroying his life and the world. Do you believe that the reason why so many people clicked so well with the character is because of that? That he let us, as any good character and archetype does, gave us a glimpse at the reader's own soul? Thank you for hearing my ramblings. Did you enjoy this kind of content? If you did so, please give me a comment. Bye bye.